Hi everyone, Shelly here with Life Creates Art. Have you ever wanted to do sort of an abstract type of portrait? Then this is the video for you. Stay tuned. Hi everyone and welcome back. Again, my name is Shelly and I want to thank all of our new subscribers, and if this is your first time here to this channel, please know that what we do here at Life Creates Art is not only build your skills, but we also want your life to be a masterpiece. So we do a lot of inspirational stuff, so I welcome you to join in, subscribe and like. And I really want to hear from everyone. I want to hear your feedback. I want to know what's happening in your life and how it's helping you, and any ideas you want to see for videos. Please post them in the comments below. Now, moving on to portraits. I want to show you, I'm going to have my husband put up a bunch of pictures of the different types of portraits that I actually have commissioned. So people commission me to paint these portraits. And I'll tell you, I have taken a long time to come to this. I am not an exact pinpoint, take a photograph and do that exact thing, a detailed portraiture. I am not that. So I am more on the abstract side, more of a caricature side. And so if you don't want that, if you're looking for more of that perfect detail, then I'm going to go ahead and let you know that this is not the video for you. But what I do, and the reason that we do Life Creates Art, is to combine not just your art, but also life. And in my portraits, I will show you, I want to introduce to you my next commission piece that I'm working on for a family. This is Jill. Jill and I went to school together. And this is her daughter, Madison and Andrew. And they're little pups. This is Mia and this is Rosie. Now, Mia has gone over to the Rainbow Bridge, but Mia is still going to be in the portrait at the request of the family. I want to show you the process that I do, because with my portraits, as you can see, I do have a likeness of the person, although it is a caricature. Sometimes I will find the likeness of that person when I draw it. And a lot of times I have to just kind of get it down, and then I find them, or I discover them while I'm actually doing the painting. So it depends. I don't beat myself up too much, and I don't want you to beat yourself up. The reason that I do these this way with these families, I put this all here, I really get to know them, and then I find out things about them. And as you can see in some of the paintings that I have done, I add things, incorporate them into the painting, things that are special, things that connect the loved ones, the families, things that they're interested in. For example, Jill is an artist herself, and she loves dogs and dancing and Wonder Woman, and I get their favorite color and of course their eye color. And Andrew's a football player and a basketball player, and Madison loves photography. And I get to know these people as I'm doing their portrait. And I love that, love to get to know them. So it makes it very, very personal when I'm doing this. Plus, it makes the portrait personal for them as I incorporate little things throughout the painting that sometimes just they will understand, just they will know what it means. But when people are looking at the portrait, it's so interesting to see these little things that connect the family, and then they can tell the stories of what they mean in the portrait. I think it makes it more personal and a little more interesting for the eye. And so I'm going to show you again what I do. Now, I sort of sketch this out a little bit. I sketch the face out, and I'm going to start with, let's start with little Rosie here. As you can see right here, I've kind of done it a little bit. I've done it here with Andrew and a little bit here with Mia, with Madison. And then Mia and Rosie, I did a little bit too. but I want to just show you the process. And the reason that I do this is because, again, it's abstract to me. So I want to find shapes within the photograph. I don't want to do it exactly, but I want to find shapes. See, like this. I can make little Rosie's eye kind of a triangle and maybe do her little eyelid there. And that just makes it far more interesting. Now I'm going to outline the shape of the white and try to do it in more lines. And then I transpose these shapes onto the canvas. My black is not working so well. All right. So this is kind of a fan shape. So, and then I love that. See that little curve right there? I love that shape. And you can bring that into a painting and it can be so much fun. And a lot of my style all these little lines of her curly little ears. And again, bringing all this around. And okay, so that's little Rosie. Again, you can see that I've done Rosie here. I am going to be pulling from 2 different spots here on when it comes to the dogs. And so I'm going to have Jill. Now I've already sketched it out here. I want you to know. I have Jill is going to be here. Madison is going to be here. And little Mia, the doggie who's gone to the Rainbow Bridge, is going to be right here. And then Andrew is going to be here. And because he's the man of the family, I'm going to have him here with his little dog, Rosie. And Andrew's going to have, you can see I sketched his arms. He's going to have his arms wrapping around his entire family. So I've just kind of done a brief sketch as far as where I want the heads and the shapes and things like that. Now, getting back to this, I want to continue with this to show you how I do this. We're going to start with Andrew. And again, you can see that I've done it up here a little bit, but this is a different angle. And I want to pull from the different angles. Okay. And I just sort of sketch. This is where sketching comes into play and is so important because it allows you to be a little more free with things like this. That's going to be just a shadow, and I may put a line around it. I don't know, but it allows me to be freer when I see something that is a natural figure like this face. Now I look very closely at his eyes too, and I can see right here in his eyes. Let me use this pen. Right here in his eyeball kind of comes in and it kind of angles down. And that angle is something that I can use when I am actually drawing out the painting. And I can have his eye a little bit bigger just because it is an abstract. Yet I want to still be able to find Andrew in it. So then coming back here, I know that the long part, the cartilage of his nose, it comes pretty much straight down. A little bit of a circle here. And his nostrils kind of go up a little bit. All right. Andrew's lips going to be a little more defined. And I notice in a couple of Andrew's pictures here, and you'll get to know their faces very well, on the, the left side of his face, the left side of his smile goes up a little bit more. You'll see it here as well. It just goes up a little bit more. Now that is something that I am going to make sure that I exaggerate a little bit on my abstract caricature of Andrew. And he has this great dimple here. I want to be sure to capture. Now his hairline, I want to be sure to get the shape of his face. And again, this is an abstract, so it's good to exaggerate things, exaggerate the shape of the face. I've kind of got this angle here. I'm a little more straight on. But here, his chin looked a little more square in this photograph. So I'm, like I said, I'm kind of pulling from two different places. And his mom wants me to have teeth in all of them. So I'm definitely going to be making the teeth and looking at this and having just a little bit of the white teeth show. Excuse me. Now, working again over here, we're going to work on Madison here. And then I'm going to, for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and draw this. So she's got a little bit of not lines, because she's very young and beautiful. She's got these beautiful lips. Now, she has these, this is again another one. She's young and just really beautiful. I'm going to exaggerate her lips a little bit just because it is an abstract. And she's just got gorgeous lips. So I'm going to come up a little bit because she's got a cute little chin here. And you can see the shape of her face. Now I'm shaping this out because, again, this is going to be Madison. So I'm kind of going along with the same angle of these side views that I have here in the painting. And Madison's eyes go down right here. So again, I'm going to exaggerate that. She's just got these cat eyes. They're just gorgeous. So I'm going to exaggerate that a little bit too. So moving on from there, this gives you the ability to sort of see the lines and look beyond it. And of course, there's the person. But with an abstract, you want to more see those lines and be able to sketch them out. And so I'm going to get started with sketching. I'm going to work on Jill, of course, but I'm going to get started with sketching just for the sake of time. Now, again, this is going to be Andrew. And I can see that Andrew on here, Andrew's hair mostly is parted on the right-hand side. So I'm going to give him this big head of hair over here. Now, keep in mind, this is going to change. Give Andrew a nice ear here. And this is going to change, and the reason I say it's going to change is because you're going to put some paint on this, and you're going to want to just sort of figure out what you want to do. You may want to change the shape and that sort of thing. You play with it. I am not one, like I said, I'm not a perfect artist. I don't do those kinds of paintings. I did of my children at one point, but this is going to be a very straight line. I did of my children at one point, and but I enjoy doing this sort of caricature and abstract far more. So I don't do all the measuring of, oh, here the nose has to be the top of the ear, and how far is this, how far is that, simply because it is an abstract. I have more fun and more ability to play. So I'm going to come down. Let me see what Andrew's mouth. I'm going to go more by this one here, where it's going to be a little more straight and a little more straight across. And then I'm going to bring it up and make his lips like this. And again, that lip that I said that's exaggerated here, I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. Okay, now, for Andrew's nose, Okay, so that's Andrew's nose. And of course, again, this is just a sketch, and this will be worked on again. I'm going to give that little square. This is where the shadows are going to fall. And now I'm going to do Andrew's eyes. And his eyebrows. Okay. So that ear is probably going to be a little smaller. But right now, that's just a rough sketch of Andrew. And then little Rosie, I'm going to do here. Looking at the other pictures of Rosie over here, I'm going to pull the shape of Rosie's face more from this one. So I'm going to go across and down. Okay, so then we're going to work on Rosie's ears. I'm going to make her head a little bigger. And this is going to be the shape of her little head. And we're going to do that. So that's just a basic sketch. And I'm going to do that a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do the beautiful Madison here. And so I'm going to angle it a little bit. So I've got her hair, and I really want her hair to be featured here. So it's going to kind of fall all around her. We'll do some features with that. And okay, now so Madison's nose, as you can see here, it kind of comes down a little more straight. So I'm going to make her nose a little more square, and then I'll kind of beautify that up as we paint this. Okay, because that'll be even smaller. It looks like she's got a huge giant nose. So I'm going to be turning this a little bit. All right, again, I want to really accentuate her beautiful mouth. And now, do you notice that I did kind of the shape of her face secondary? Because to me, there are not a whole lot of rules when it comes to the abstract and how you do this. Now, again, these are sketches. I don't really feel like I caught any of them through this. Maybe Andrew a little bit, but don't really feel like I caught any of them through this. But I will work on that as I paint. And I will discover them and find them. I'm going to move on here to Jill. As you can see, Jill's lips, they kind of come up almost like an arrow. So they curve down, but the bottom lip kind of curves up. So I actually drew this wrong. Okay. I'll give her some nice rounded eyebrows. And with her, she's going to have some really wavy hair. And again, there'll be teeth in here and all of that, but for now, we're just doing this. So I'm going to shape out her cheek, go down a little bit. That's too wide. I can tell already this is a little bit better. And now we're going to come around with a chin here. So, and then little Mia is going to be right there, Mia the dog. But I think that this sort of shows you enough about how I do the process, what I do to make this process. And again, don't be so hard on yourself. Remember that you can always find the character within the painting. And so that's a lot of times I do that. Sometimes I'm right on, and then sometimes I have to discover it as I paint. So I'm going to continue this process, and this is just part 1, and part 2 is coming up where I will start to paint it, and I will show you how to do the shadowing and all of that. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I love you guys, and I hope to see you again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And this is Shelly signing out. All right, bye.